and internal sources. Thereafter, we have started cost of capital, cost of equity capital, cost of preference capital, and cost of debt. We have completed these two portions in the unit number 2, and now we are in the third point, that is capital structure. And already we discussed what do you mean by capital structure. So that is a picture of equity, preference, debt, and long-term sources and retained earnings. Capital structure is equal to total assets minus all the current liabilities. Okay, and optimum capital structure means a capital structure at which the cost of capital is minimum, but the value of the firm will maximum. After we have seen the forms of capital structure: equity, equity preference, and debt, equity preference, and debt. And then after we have seen the determinants of capital structure approach. There are 17 points. We have discussed one by one in detail, and then after we have started theories of capital structure. Am I right? We are here. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. So now theories of capital structure. So there are 4 theories. There are 4 theories. That may be asked in the MCQ question, in 1-mark questions. Okay. How many theories are there in capital structure? So there are 4 theories. Okay. Number 1, net income approach. Number 2, net operating income approach. Number 3, M approach. Also we can call it Modigliani and Miller approach. And 4th one is traditional approach. So write down the first approach. Okay. Before moving ahead, make sure one thing here. See, these theories and these approaches are nothing but they are explaining their views. Okay. Some experts are saying that if we change the capital structure, okay, then it's affect the value of the firm. Some experts say that no, if you change the capital structure, it doesn't affect the value of the firm. Some experts say that if we use more debt in a capital structure, okay, then there is a change in the value of the firm. So these theories of capital structures are explaining the views of experts about the mixture of capital. It means a capital structure and the effect on a value of the firm or a profit of the firm. Are you getting the idea behind these theories? ये theories क्या कह रही है, इनके पीछे का मोटिव क्या है? Are you getting that point? बहुत ही सिंपल लॉजिक है कि अगर कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर जो है, ओके, जिसमें इक्विटी, प्रेफरेंस एंड डेट है, उसमें अगर हम कोई चेंज करेंगे तो उससे फर्म यानी कि जो कंपनी है उसकी मार्केट वैल्यू में क्या क्या चेंजेस हो सकते हैं, चेंजेस होंगे कि नहीं होंगे, होंगे तो पॉजिटिव होंगे या नेगेटिव होंगे. That we are trying to understand from these theories. So actually these theories are the views of different experts. So number 1 is first theory, that is about net income approach. Net income approach. But before going for the detailed discussion about the net income approach, let's understand some assumptions. If these 6 conditions are remaining same, then and then the application of this theory will be there in a business. Okay. Suppose you have studied the economics. You have studied economics. So no. आपने economics पढ़ा है? Yes. Okay. Only कृपाली ने पढ़ा है, बाकी किसी ने नहीं पढ़ा है. किसी का आंसर नहीं है. Okay. In economics, we have a rule. Rule is that if the price of the commodity will increase, the demand of the product or commodity will decrease. This is the rule. But this rule is applicable when other factors remain same. So हम क्या बोलते हैं? If the other factors are remain same and the price of the product will increase, the demand of product will decrease. Are you agree with me? यही हम बोलते हैं, यही तो conclusion है. So this other factors means the taste and preference, the market conditions, the rule of business, the rule or policies of the government, the weather conditions, the financial conditions of the countries or the business, these factors are remain same. So this same concept is applicable here. If the 6 points, okay, assumptions are remain same, then whatever the views are there, that views are applicable. So let's understand. Number one, there is only two sources of finance. One is equity, number two is debt. Okay. First assumption क्या है कि in a market only two types of finance is available. One is equity, and number two is debt. No other finances are available. It means preferences are not available. Are we clear about one? Only two, equity and debt. See this question, this slide having 8 marks. Okay, that may be asked in 8 marks, that may be asked in 4 marks. Question like explain the assumptions of capital structures theories or NI approach theory. So number one, there is only equity and debt. Number two, there would be no change in investment decisions. Once the decision is done, there is no change. Once the company has issued equity shares, it means it is issued. Once company has issued debentures, it is issued. There is no change in equity, there is no change in debt and debentures. Okay, once the investment decision is done, there is no change in a decision. Number three, that the firm has a policy of distributing entire profit among the shareholders, implying there is no retainer. What it indicates, number three, that is very simple, that whatever the profit generated by the company, the entire profit will be distributed as a dividend among the shareholders. If suppose company has on a profit of 10 lakh rupees, the 10 lakh rupees will be distributed as a dividend. There is no reinvestment, there is no retainer. Are we clear about three? Good. Number four, operating profits of the firms are given and not expected to grow. This is very difficult assumption of this capital structure theory. That is, the profit is given to you. This is the profit of the company, and there is no any growth in that particular profit. In short, profit remains same. Profit remain constant. Number five, the business risk complications of the firm is given and it is not affected by the financings. It means business risk is given to you and there is no change in the business risk due to change in a proportion of equity or debt. अगर हम इक्विटी बढ़ाएंगे या डेप्ट बढ़ाएंगे तो उससे बिजनेस में जो रिस्क हो रहा है that risk remains. There is no change in risk. Number five, there is no corporate or personal tax. So again, I repeat 6 very quickly. Number one, only two sources, equity and debt. Number two, no change in investment decision. Okay, no change in operating profit, no change in business risk, and there is no corporate tax and personal tax. And last, whatever the profit is there, that entire profit will be distributed as a dividend. No reinvestment, no retainer. So I will here 4 times some no याद रखना, no reinvestment, no change in investment decisions, no change in a profit, and no change in a business risk, and no corporate and personal tax. चलो, now हम understand करते हैं one by one theories जो भी है. Number one is net income approach. This approach is given by David Durant. Durant यहाँ पे लिखा है, David आपको लिख के देता हूँ. David Durant. David Durant is one of the experts in financial management, and he is given this approach. According to this approach, it means according to David Durant, the capital structure decision is relevant to valuation of the firm. Relevant to valuation of the firm means if company change the capital structure, it will affect the value of the firm. If the company will change, okay, the equity proportion or a debt proportion in a capital structure, that will definitely affect the market value of the firm. Are we clear about this funda? ये थियरी का ये की वर्ड है, की लाइन है, की फंडा. If company change the capital structure, it will directly affect the value of the firm. There is a relation between capital structure and value of the firm. That's why this approach is also known as relevant theory or relevant approach. याद रखना, ये भी important है. This NI approach is also known as relevant approach or relevant theory. Maybe question asked that which of the following is considered as relevant theory of capital structure? You need to remember this name. Net income approach. According to which approach, capital structure decisions is relevant to value of the firm. It means if company change the capital structure, it will affect the value of the firm. According to this approach, use more debt finance to reduce overall cost of capital and increase the value of the firm. Let's understand this last line with a practical example. Okay, suppose one company is there, that company name ABC Limited. Company name is ABC Limited. This company having capital structure of rupees 10 lakhs. Company having capital of 10 lakhs. Out of that, 7 lakh is for equity shares. 7 lakh for equity shares, and remaining 3 lakhs is for debt. Are you getting my point? This is the current position. This is the current capital structure of the company ABC Limited. 7 lakhs equity shares, 3 lakhs debt, and total capital of 10 lakhs. As we have understood the adoptions, there is no preferences. So only two types of capitals are there. Are you with me up to this? Hello. Yes. Okay. Now ये डूरंट भाई क्या बोलते हैं हमें? देखो ये क्या बोलते हैं? Use more debt to finance. Okay. Now instead of 3 lakh, company ABC has increased the debt by 2 lakhs. So now company have debt of rupees 5 lakh. And remaining 5 lakh will be equity shares. Again, the capital structure is of 10 lakh only, but as the debt is increased from 3 lakh to 5 lakh, automatically the cost of capital will reduce. Why the cost of capital will reduce? Because we know that the cost of equity is higher than the cost of debt. We have reduced the cost of equity capital in the capital structure. जो 7 लाख थी उसमें से 5 लाख कर दी, तो ऑटोमेटिकली जो 2 लाख इक्विटी शेयर्स की कॉस्ट थी वो कम हो जाएगी. सपोज कंपनी का 20% डिविडेंड, सो 20% of 2 lakh, it means 40,000 is the cost of equity capital on 2 lakh. Okay, जो भी reduce किए उस पे 40,000 is key cost of equity capital for 2 lakh rupees. Now suppose company has issued the debentures of rupees 2 lakh of 10%. So here the cost of debt KD is 20. So now you can see the difference. By reducing the 2 lakhs of equity capital, company can reduce the cost of capital by 20,000 rupees, and that will increase the value of the firm. Are we clear about the funda? Are we clear about the theory? वापस से एक बार शॉर्टली रिपीट कर देता हूं. ये थियरी ऐसा कहती है कि अगर कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर में कोई चेंज हुआ तो वो चेंज कंपनी की मार्केट वैल्यू को चेंज करेगा. Okay, there is a relation between capital structure and value of the firm. If company will increase the debt proportion in capital structure at a time, the cost of overall capital will decrease, will reduce, and market value of the firm will increase. For example, in 7 lakh and 3 lakhs are the proportion of equity and debt in the capital structure. Now company has reduced the equity and increased the debt by 5 lakh, by 2 lakhs. So 5 lakh and 5 lakh debt and equity is there. So automatically there is a decrease in a cost of equity capital for rupees 2 lakh 40,000, and there is an increase of cost of debt for additional 2 lakhs, that is 20,000. So there is a difference of 20,000. Are we clear about this one? Okay, only 3 points. One, capital structure is relevant to value of the firm. There is a relation, and as use more finance, use more debt to increase the value of the firm. If you want to explain more, you can write like this. According to this approach, if we use more equity, it will increase the cost of overall capital and it will decrease the value of the firm. You can write fourth point like this. Okay. Assumptions already we have discussed, so no need to discuss here. Again, I am reading quickly. There is no corporate tax, already we have discussed. The cost of debt is less than the cost of equity. We know that. And the use of debt doesn't change the risk perceptions of investors. It means a risk remains same. Total capital requirement of the firm is given and there is no change. It's remain constant. And here both KD and KE remain constant. Already we have discussed the assumptions, so मैं यहाँ पे उसको detail नहीं discuss कर रहा है, but the main point is cost of equity and cost of debt remain same. Okay, capital structure requirement remains same, risk perception remains same, cost of debt is less costly than the cost of equity, and no corporate tax. See, this is the chart that this is the diagram that you need to draw in your final examination or in a mid examinations whenever we have question of 8 marks. See, this is the rate of return on a x-axis. On a y-axis we have DE. Okay, now see, RE represent the rate or return on equity, RD represent the return on debt जिसको हम KDB बोलते हैं, and RA represent the overall return. So as the debt RD, okay, will increase, we will improve, we will use more debt, the cost of capital RA will decline. Are you getting my point? ओके, यहाँ पे मैं पीपीटी में तो नहीं दिखा सकता, अगर आप यहाँ पे ऑफलाइन होते तो मैं आपको दिखाता कि किस तरह से ये वर्क करता है. डोंट वरी, समहाउ वी विल मैनेज. दिस इज द फॉर्मूला जस्ट फॉर योर इंफॉर्मेशन. हम कहीं पे भी इसको यूज नहीं करेंगे एज अ प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन, बट जस्ट फॉर द इंफॉर्मेशन. RA इट मीन्स ओवरऑल कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल इज इक्वल टू RD कॉस्ट ऑफ डेट जिसको हम KDB बोलते हैं इज इक्वल टू D अपॉन DE plus RE D upon D plus E. Okay, here D means market value of debt and E means market value of equity, and RD you know cost of debt and RE you know cost of equity. So when the question asks, and this is the important formula and last formula, this is all about to find out the value of E and D, market value of the debt and market value of the E. By using these values, you can find out the value of the firm. That value of the firm is equal to E plus D, market value, total market value of equity plus total market value of debt. Okay. Now, what you need to remember in this theory? First 3 points. There is a relation between capital structure and value of the firm, relevant to value of the firm, okay, given by David Durant, and use of more debt reduce the cost of capital, overall cost of capital, and increase the value of the firm. This three line plus you need to remember these five assumptions and this diagram. These three are the compulsory for 8 mark questions. If you forget this formula, no issue, but you need to write this formula. So there are 8 marks and there are 4 slides you need to remember. First slide, the concept, assumptions, diagram and formula. Are we clear about this 4? ये चारों आपको लिखनी है अगर 8 मार्क का क्वेश्चन आए तो. अगर 4 मार्क का क्वेश्चन है तो you can write only assumptions and theory. No need to draw the diagram or no need to write a formula. But if we have a question for 8 marks, we need to write all these points. Now we are moving for the second view. Second view. Second view is net operating income. Net operating income. Write down the title. Again, this approach is given by David Durant. So, NI approach and NY approach, both the approach are given by David Durant. Okay, now, अब जैसे मान लो कोई एक पर्सन है, उसके दो माइंडसेट होते हैं. I have two mindset. Okay, number one, to be very strict in a class during the sessions. But when the students meet me outside the campus, I am his or her friend. I'm behaving like a friend. I'm behaving like his colleague. Are you getting my point? So this is my two natures. This is my two different opinions. So in class, there is a relation as a professor and as a student. But outside the campus, there is a relation like friends. So similarly, this David Durant have two mindset. One mindset, one point of view that he said that in NI approach there is a relevant, okay, but अब उसका ही दूसरा वर्जन है जो इससे रिवर्स है पूरा. This NI approach is opposite to NI. This is totally different from the last one. According to this approach, capital structure decision is irrelevant to value of the firm. And first, if you remember, in NI, net income, David by said that there is a relation and there is a relevant between the capital structure and value of the firm. But now in the second point of view, he stated that there is no relation between capital structure and value of the firm. That's why he write like this: capital structure decision is irrelevant to value of the firm. Are we clear? First point. Now coming to the number 2. The market value of the firm is not all affected by the capital structure change. Okay, if you remember the case of ABC company, according to the previous theory, if we change the debt, okay, from 3 lakh to 5 lakh, there is a possibility to increase the market value of the firm. But according to this approach, net operating income, whether you will change the equity or whether you will change the debt, there is no effect, okay, of this change in the value of the firm. Are we clear about the point number 2, everyone? Point 1 and 2 clear hai? Okay. Number 1, it's irrelevant theory. हाँ, ये भी पूछ सकता है in MCQ questions. Which of the following is irrelevant theory? So your answer is net operating income. and there is no relation between capital structure and value of the firm, and changes in the capital structure does not affect the market value of the firm. And according to this approach, the change in a capital structure will not lead to any change in the total value of the firm, the market price of the shares, as well as the overall cost of capital. Let me explain this point in detail. Okay, suppose company earning a good amount of profit. Okay, now company are using a more debt. So in that case, what happened? If the company use more debt, it means company will take some loans, okay, or either company issue the debentures. So in that, it may happen that for a short period, the cost of capital will reduce. But as the equity shareholders know this, that company have more funds, company are using some other loans and other securities, automatically they are demanding for more dividend. So by using the debt capital, whatever the profit will generate in the business, that profit again distributed among the shareholders, and now shareholders are expecting more. Why? Because there is more profit. आपको बात समझ में आ रही है? यहाँ पे जैसे जैसे कंपनी डेट कैपिटल यूज करेगी, वैसे वैसे कंपनी का प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा. जैसे प्रॉफिट बढ़ेगा, वैसे इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स डिविडेंड की डिमांड करेंगे, ज्यादा डिविडेंड की डिमांड करेंगे. तो अल्टीमेटली क्या हुआ कि जो कॉस्ट ऑफ डेप्ट में आपको कम खर्च हो रहा था, वही आप इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर को ज्यादा पे कर रहे हो. तो अल्टीमेटली if you change the capital structure or not, will not change the market value of the firm or price of the shares or overall cost of capital. Again, we have 6 assumptions. Number 1, overall cost of capital remains same. Okay, K remains same. No corporate tax. KD remains same. K0, sorry, it's KE. It's not K0. It's KE. KE remains same. It means cost of equity remains same. Cost of debt remains same. No corporate tax. Capital cost or overall cost of capital remains same. Firm capitalize the total earning of the firm to find the value of the firm as well. Use of more debt in a capital structure increase the risk, okay, and thus result in increase in cost of equity capital. As I have explained right now that हम जैसे जैसे कंपनी जैसे जैसे डेप्ट को ज़्यादा यूज करेगी, वैसे वैसे रिस्क बढ़ेगा तो इक्विटी शेयर होल्डर्स आर डिमांडिंग फॉर मोर रिटर्न. So 6 assumptions: cost of capital remains same, cost of equity remains same, cost of debt remains same, no corporate tax. Firm capitalize the total earning. Capitalize the total earning means full retention, full reinvestment, no dividend. टोटल कैपिटलाइजेशन का मतलब होता है कि कंपनी डिविडेंड डिक्लेयर ही नहीं करती, जितना भी प्रॉफिट हो रहा है वो सिर्फ बिजनेस में लगा रही है. Are we clear? And last one is use of more debt increase the risk, and as the risk increase, the shareholders, specifically equity shareholders, are demanding more return, more dividend. Are we clear about the assumptions? Okay, now find out the common assumptions between NI and NOI. So it will help you to remember the assumptions of both the theories. हम एक तीर से दो शिकार करेंगे. Cost of capital remains same, number 1. Cost of equity remains same, cost of debt remains same, and no corporate tax. These 4 what we call these 4 assumptions are common in both the theories. So at least you need to remember these 4. दूसरे याद ना रहे तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं, but at least you need to remember these 4. Which one? Cost of capital remains same, cost of equity remains same, cost of debt remains same, and no corporate tax. याद रह जाएगा? Okay, moving ahead. Okay. This is the diagram of this theory, NOI approach, net operating income. According to this approach, as you use the more debt RD, suppose here we have first point, here second point, third point, so जैसे RD means the debt you will use, or company will use more debt, the overall cost of capital remains same, RA remains same, but as a more debt, the risk will increase, and as the risk will increase, equity shareholders will demand more return. So ultimately, the cost of equity will increase, RE will increase. See the upper line. Okay. Are we clear about the diagram? Okay, and this is the formula. RE is equal to RA plus RA minus RD in a bracket D minus E. Okay, this is the formula that you need to remember. RE stands for cost of equity is equal to RA average cost of capital plus average cost of capital minus cost of debt, and market value of debt upon market value of equity. So if this question will ask in 8-mark questions, you need to write a concept, assumptions, diagram and formula in 8 marks. But in 4 marks, only concept and assumptions. Chalo. So are we clear about this, both the theories? Once again, I explain very shortly. First theory is net income theory, and according to this theory, okay, there is a relation between capital structure and value of the firm. It means the capital structure decisions are relevant to value of the firm. Approach is given by David Durant, and use of more finance will reduce the cost of capital and increase the value of the firm. 5 assumptions: no corporate tax, cost of debt is less than cost of equity, risk remains same, capital requirement remains same, cost of equity remains same, cost of debt remains same. This is the diagram, and this is the formula. V is equal to E plus D. And second approach, net operating income given by David Durant, and this is opposite to NI, net income. And according to this approach, capital structure decisions are relevant to firm. It means there is no there is no relation between capital structure and value of the firm, and the market value of the firm is not affected by the changes in a capital structure. It means no relation. And lastly, as you can change, or a company can change the capital structure, but it does not lead to a change in the value of the firm or the market price of the shares, or as well as cost of capital. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि अगर इक्विटी यूज करें या डेप्ट यूज करें, या दोनों में से किसी एक को बढ़ाएं या कम करें, कुछ भी करें, अगर हम कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर में ओनली इक्विटी रखें, ओनली डेप्ट रखें, इक्विटी डेप्ट 50-50 रखें, इक्विटी 30%, डेप्ट 70% रखें, डेप्ट 70%, इक्विटी 30% रखें, ऐसा कुछ भी अगर हम चेंज करेंगे तो उससे ना तो मार्केट में कंपनी की वैल्यू चेंज होगी, ना मार्केट में शेयर प्राइस चेंज होगी, ना ही कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल चेंज होगी. These 6 are the assumptions. Cost of capital remains same, cost of equity and cost of debt remains same, no corporate tax, total capitalization, and use of more risk increase the risk to shareholders. This is diagram and this is form. In the next class, we will go for the last 2 theories of capital structure. Okay, that is traditional theory and Modigliani and Miller approach. So if you have any doubt, any queries up to this in previous 2 theories, let me ask. Otherwise, write down my numbers and you are free to leave the class.